settle yourself in so that you can really soften and relax. Get yourself organized in a way that your body will be comfortable. And that's the first thing we do, isn't it? We come into a practice, we notice what's going on in our body, our breath, our mind. We take a few deep breaths, maybe, relax our shoulders, and we settle in. And it's so interesting to tune in the way we do. Sometimes what we find is a lot of peace and relaxation, and sometimes we find agitation or all kinds of other emotional states. And for most of us, we were never really taught how to feel in a skillful way. A lot of the time, we were told we were too sensitive, or we were told to be quiet or tone it down, or not to be too excited. Or there's so many ways that our emotions were made to be not quite right. And those are the kind of relatively benign ones, like overexcited or something, or sad. But anger is another one that's not allowed often. And so, how would we ever know how to kind of be present with all of these moods, all of these emotions, all the feelings that we have? And so, that's part of how we're kind of reparenting ourselves now. And we're really bringing ourselves into this moment in time, right now in this moment. How do I feel? And is there anyone here who's going to tell me to tone it down? Or is it okay for me to feel what I feel? Notice your shoulders, your upper back, relax through that whole area. You can move your shoulders around a bit too, often feels good. And notice if you're clenching your teeth. If you are, put a bit of space between your upper and lower jaw. Move your lower jaw around a bit. And bring some softness into your face, your forehead, your eyebrows, your eyes. And often, as adults, when we're at that place where we're coming to practice and learning to heal our trauma, we don't have as much of the external criticism coming at us, although sometimes we certainly do. Could be a parent, a partner, someone at work. But more often, what we have is our own internal critic. And so part of what we're working with is to be firm with that critic and say, no, that's not true. And I'm not going to listen to you anymore. You've had enough time in my head. Goodbye. And how can we kind of manage feeling okay without that kind of constant harping on us? Well, you did that wrong. What kind of a fool, blah, blah, blah. All of the things that we've had said to us, perhaps, but also we've maybe said to ourselves. It just creates this environment in us that's not necessary. So if you were to kind of sink into how you would be teaching a child, a grandchild, a friend who is having trouble, how to kind of stay with themselves and stay with their emotions. See if you could be just as kind, just as patient with yourself. And notice how your belly relaxes when you breathe. And if it's not automatically relaxing, then let it soften. As soon as we notice, then we have that new opportunity to soften the belly and breathe. And notice if your situation is tolerable right now. You might not have the perfect temperature in the room. There might be sounds. You might be busy, having a busy day ahead that you're thinking about, or you could have all kinds of things going on. But notice if you could be okay with your situation just as it is right now. Your window of tolerance is one of the ways that we talk about that. And stay really in touch with your breath. And relax through the whole back of your body. Let your shoulders settle back away from your ears or back into the floor or the chair. Notice your arms, your legs. When we're doing a practice like this, are often our arms and legs are kind of ready for action, but they don't actually have to be. So see if you could just notice that. Sometimes we might need to stretch or get up and shake them out or something like that, and then lay down again or sit back again. That's part of doing an attentive practice. We're looking to see what's going on, and we're not being too generic about it. Well, most days I like to just lie down and rest back onto the floor, but today it's not what I need, so I'll do something else first, or I'll add in something, or we can really fine tune these practices moment to moment so it's more what we need. And it's really calming and grounding to our body to tune into our breath. So that's one option too. You could be working with softening your stomach area as you're breathing. You could be focusing on that flow of air in the nostrils. If it feels like it would be good for you today, you could do some alternate nostril breathing even. Just 3 breaths, complete breaths on each side. Use your hands or block off, or just do it in your mind. Just kind of take your mind from the eyebrow center down through the active nostril to where the nostril meets the upper lip and back a few times. And then switch to the other side. You could use so hum as well to kind of calm the mind, give it a steady point. This is kind of a buffet guided practice right now. Choose what would be really helpful for you. Notice your relationship with the practice that you're doing right now. Are you enjoying it? Are you too distracted to enjoy it? Is it more neutral? And notice your relationship with your body as you're relaxing the muscles in your body and focusing on softening. Whatever it is that you're noticing in your body, is that okay with you? I find it so helpful to understand the trauma response and to know that my body's not tight because it doesn't like me or something. It's tight because of a trauma response. Or my breath is kind of shallow and I'm holding my breath. It's not that my body is trying to harm me by holding my breath. It's just that that's what happens with fear. And sometimes we have a long term experience of that and we have a habit in our breath. Over and over, we can keep coming back to that. What's happening in my body, my breath, and thoughts in the mind? And am I okay with myself right now? And to let go of everything in the past, everything in the future, just right now in this moment. Could I relax my muscles? Could I breathe more smoothly? Could I settle my mind? Take a break. We have so many habits in the mind. One of them is that the mind just wanders. And that's okay. We're still getting a relaxation effect. And it's nice for the mind to be steadier too. So you could be working with so hum, just that inhaling so and exhaling hum, and let it flow in your mind. Just listening to the sound, not actually saying it. If there's lots going on in the mind, that can be so helpful. Just let that so hum and calm your mind. And we're staying present with ourselves as much as we can. And when we drift off somewhere, when we notice that, then we are very, very kind with ourselves as we bring ourselves back. Sometimes that's a habit of the mind. Sometimes we're dissociating. There's something going on inside that we don't really want to be with. And that's okay. That's happens to all of us at times. And then we come back and we really tune in. We allow ourselves this time, this presence, this attention, and to be so kind, to be the most loving presence that we could imagine, to be that for ourselves, to feel the reassurance of that, to be seen and known and loved and have compassion. And let yourself feel into that through all the cells of your body, through your whole body, head to toes. You might experience that as a light that starts in the heart center and radiates out to your whole body. Might be something different. And this isn't something that is only rewarded to a few people. Seeing ourselves, being kind, that's a possibility for every single one of us, and every single one of us deserves that. To acknowledge our own good heart and mistakes and everything else that's happened too. But that doesn't take us out of the running for having some kindness and compassion. In fact, that makes it even more necessary. So, a part of your mind is arguing that you don't deserve it, it's not telling you the truth. Just let all of that thought go. Let go of any thoughts, any regrets. Right now, we're really focusing in on being present with ourselves, feeling kindness, compassion, love, acceptance, and let go of the thoughts and the words and feel into it. What's the felt sense of that right now in your body? And let yourself experience it. Let yourself have this. I know that each one of us deserves to be loved and accepted and to feel connected, to know our own goodness. Let yourself sit with that. Be aware of your own goodness. And if your mind is distracted, just keep bringing it back. It might feel like a bit too much, or it might feel like, oh, I've been waiting for this. Keep moving towards this. letting yourself be here with your own goodness, and the stillness in your own being. And if your mind brings any kind of counterattack, let it move to the background. That happens sometimes. It's a trauma response, and we don't need to listen to it. Think of the person or being or a pet or something that you love most in the world. And maybe you're lucky and you have a bunch to choose from, or maybe it's one or two. How would you want them to feel about their own goodness? That they deserve love and unconditional acceptance, their own high regard, no matter what they've done. We all make mistakes, and that's not a good enough reason to disconnect from this felt sense of our own goodness. It's just part of being human. And keep coming back to the stillness, to that felt sense without the words. I'm okay with me. And if that doesn't feel very true right at the moment, maybe it's, I know I have experienced being okay with me, or I'm willing to be okay with me. I remember times, and I know there will be times again, when I'm really in touch with my own goodness and I'm okay with me. And to have even more love and compassion if that seems out of reach right now. Notice your body again, your breath, and to return to this as you move through the day. Even on a really busy day, we can always find a few minutes to stop and breathe, and to tune back into this seeing ourselves and accepting ourselves, loving ourselves, and giving ourselves our own attention, letting ourselves immerse in that for a bit. And then when you're ready, open your eyes.